Hey there. I am Caleb Brown, your host for KMFCast. This is episode 4, and we try to kind of cover a range of topics. We often do technical, and today we're actually getting into an interesting space talking about sort of productivity, a couple work from home hacks and tricks, some really exciting stuff. And we have a great kind of lineup of X-teamers here that I wanted to start bringing in and introducing. We have Lauren. I believe is coming in. There's Lauren. Hey, thanks so much
Hello
for
there.
being
How's
here.
it going? Thank
Very
you.
good, very good. Yeah, thanks for being here. I'm excited about this one. We have Astrid coming in as well. There.
Hey
Hey there.
guys.
Hey, thanks for being here. And lastly, we have
me.
Paulo coming on in here. Hey there. Thanks so much for being here. I love the hat. I'm loving the festivities. Looking great. But yeah, like I said, so, I think we're going to have a good chat here talking a lot about just kind of covering a few different topics within kind of productivity, remote work, distributed teams, things like that. Just some things that we've all sort of learned along the way. So if we want to go ahead without further ado and jump into our first topic, which is about remote work, distributed teams, and kind of keeping that productivity as high as possible. I think we should have, there we go. That's what I'm looking for. So, obviously a broad topic. There's a lot of kind of different areas to get in, discussing this. But if anyone wants to kind of kick it off in any direction you'd like to go with, remote work, distributed teams, more than happy to have you kick off the conversation.
So I can definitely give it a go and start a little bit. So first of all, these two guys right here, I think it would be right here. They work daily with me. So I think that this is a very relevant topic to all of us because we don't live anywhere close. Sometimes we do have a little bit different schedules because people have personal stuff that they want to do, or they started earlier because, they felt like it that day. And this is actually pretty awesome because we are actually in different areas as well. So this topic brings a lot of things like, how do we talk to each other? How do we know what the other one is working on right now, what they need from us? And I don't know, you go ahead, Paulo, Lauren, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I also agree. It's an amazing topic. I think it helps if we tell where we are from, so that people can have a hunch.
Absolutely.
On
It's a great idea.
So
yeah.
So I'm currently living in Floripa, in the south of Brazil. And so go on.
Yeah, I live in Santiago, in Chile.
Okay. Yeah. And Paulo? Oh, I think you're muted.
The mute button.
Can you hear me now?
I think we can.
Yes, that works. There we go. Yep.
Yeah, see? I'm also from Brazil, but I am from Rio, so I am in the southeast of Brazil, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
And also,
so, go ahead.
So, sorry. So, and also something important is in which time zone we work for. We are working for PST, that is the time zone from Los Angeles in the US.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit, just kind of, like you said, you all work together pretty closely often. What are we are going to talk a little bit later about some tools, but I'm just kind of curious what some of the, I'm sure a lot of folks use the same Slack, I'm sure, but I'm just curious what some of the tools and kind of async products that you're kind of using with not only with direct team members, but also folks you have to communicate with kind of on the partner side, on the PST side of things. Just kind of curious to hear just a few of those sort of async tools that you're using.
Right. So first of all, we do have like a separate Slack with the client, which is where we have all our main work stuff. We do talk a lot on that side as well because, we're usually bringing up stuff like tickets that we're working on or whatnot. Okay, so Slack would be the first one and very important for us to keep on in sync and all that. We also, of course, have, we use Jira to keep track of the work that we're doing as a team. And we do try to keep up with a lot of documentation and stuff like that with Confluence. So we do use like a lot of, I would say, Atlassian tools in general.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
also we are using Zoom for our actual video calls. So it's pretty much standard calls. And we do have meetings that are scheduled for our team, but we also have plenty of meetings that we want to discuss something between our service, or if we want to sync something with other teams, we also use Zoom. Sometimes Meet, but that's a secret.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I know, before the show, when we were kind of talking about topics, keeping productivity high was one of the things that we kind of touched on for this one. I was just kind of curious, your kind of point of view from the productivity, perspective.
Well, I don't know if there's anything that you guys want to mention. I've been thinking a lot about this topic, and it's really relevant to understand that in our line of work, the best way to go is definitely, being goal oriented more than, just staying there 8 hours looking at a screen because. So
Absolutely, yeah.
I think that's very, very good because it leaves a lot of space for us to find the best way in which we work. For example, I'm a total night owl. My brain doesn't work in the morning, and it's actually pretty cool because my client in this case is in Los Angeles, so I have like a 5-hour difference right now, and we do want to keep, we want to have some overlap with the client so that we can be there in case that we have meetings or anything that they need to reach out to us for. But also then we have a long morning where we can actually do the most focused work. And I don't know if the other guys do this, probably they do, but most of our meetings are in the afternoon. So I can actually plan my day according to that, trying to have like everything that I need to really focus on deep work, I do it in the morning. So that, when it's meeting time, I can have my brain working just towards the meeting and what I need to do for that.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's, obviously anyone else can jump in, but that's definitely something I found about, fully remote work was just that, the ability to kind of balance work with your preferred schedule and not having it so, kind of stuck to a one schedule. I do keep things pretty relatively the same Monday through Friday, but just having that flexibility, because I'm also a night owl, so having that flexibility of doing some stuff in the evening when I'm just kind of more in the zone for that has been absolutely huge.
Yeah, and in my case, for example, my schedule is a little bit different because I'm used to wake up earlier. So sometimes I prefer to work until 11 a.m., something like this, and take a large lunch time, so I come back and to the meetings. And so sometimes I like to walk around the beach with my wife and stuff like that. Absolutely. So it's really nice to be so flexible like this, because our meetings in the afternoon, you have time enough to have a lunch, to solve some problem, and if you have to get out and something like this, So yeah, in my case it's more early, but it's fine to work.
But that's the beautiful thing is here, right? People are built different, right? We operate differently. We're comfortable in different things, and that's so cool that you have one team in which people kind of work differently. But because of that remote flexibility, you're everyone's able to do it, and that's the beautiful part of it. I think we can go ahead. We are, like I said, a lot of our topics are kind of similar. We're going to touch on some things as we're moving along, but we do have little mini games spread through all of these. So we're gonna, I think, jump to our first one, I believe, and that's where we were talking about memes. And in fact, our last bullet point, our last topic for this is memes. So what I thought it would be fun to do is to kind of go back and look at all historically just memes that probably everyone has seen, but you don't always remember when they came out, when they hit the scene. So I'm going to show you two popular memes, and you have to tell me which one came first. And you use the private chat down there to buzz in. Just hit anything in the private chat. First one to buzz in, you can tell me. Paulo got it first with Doge. Let's see if that's right. Go ahead and advance. It is Doge. So that's
wow.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That was 2013. Doge hit the scene. So we'll get 5 points for Paulo.
I'm getting old.
I think that's not fair because I'm the youngest one here and I didn't really got the memes either. So that's just not that fair. But let's see.
I think
that's also something
board.
something pretty interesting about our team is that we do have like a very different age. We're like very old people. We're gonna call them very old because they're not here and they cannot say anything about it. Like, yeah, 30 somethings, 30 long somethings, and then
Sure.
we have the smaller kids like Lauren and Paolo, and I think it's really great. Oh, if this will like to focus something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, so it's really funny because we do have like a various themes when we talk about anything. You can bring up something that's very relevant for Lauren, and then the other ones we are like, what is that? And it's kind of funny because we get to know so many things.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And also, sorry, Caleb, since we are from different countries, we also have the cultural mix of memes. So there are many memes I get to explain to the other people because they don't really.
An opportunity to learn. Opportunity to learn new memes.
Exactly. For instance, I think yesterday I had a meme about Joelma, which is a Brazilian singer, and they were like, who is this? Who is this person? And I always have to link some YouTube and explain the context behind it. And also when they talk about some Mexican telenovela, also we kind of have this cultural trade over here.
That's awesome. Yeah. There you go. Throwing some good comments up on the screen here. I don't know if everyone can see those or not, but they're good. Anyway, we can go ahead and move along with let's see here. Yeah, oh yeah, that's right. Kind of shared. We're talking about shared. Shared kind of quality and responsibility across teams, and how kind of different areas. Everyone here kind of works in a different area, although they work together. How you kind of different, can contribute to that in different ways. So, but that was a good one. You guys brought that one to the table. So, first person that wants to take it away, more than welcome to.
Yeah, this one is very special to me as the QA of the team. Because I feel like in our industry, well, first, the QA department is kind of not new, definitely not new anymore, but it's kind of getting stronger and bigger now.
Yep.
And one of the things that I've seen in the past in other companies is the weight of the responsibility that QA folks have. Like, oh, if everything goes wrong, it's QA's fault, and that kind of witch hunting that I feel is not really productive or brings anything good to the table. So I would say that we have a very good dynamic towards this, and it's definitely something that I would love to see more of. Well, of course, I'm the QA. I am in charge of a lot of the documentation and whatnot, automation work on my side. But then there's, the back-end guys and the front-end guys doing their piece as well. I don't know if you guys want to elaborate more about what you guys do for that.
Yes, sure. So on the backend side, we mostly focus on unit tests for, of course, ensuring that our business logic is working properly. But we also work with integration tests with the same tool that Astrid uses, by the way, which is pretty cool. And we work with her on building the end-to-end test so that everything is working from one point to another. So that's pretty much what we do in the testing point of view. And for quality, we do code reviews. We discuss regularly on how we can approach things on the best way. We also make this conversation public for the team so that they can also give some suggestion on how we can improve. And everyone is assigned to the PR so that everyone can see. And it doesn't really make a difference if you are a QA or a front end reviewing back end stuff, because we all want to make things together.
Yep.
Yeah, and what Lauren said makes a lot of sense, because even if you don't know exactly what the other team is doing, because you don't have enough knowledge about that technology or something, you can read the description and everything that makes sense when we can add some screenshots, describe what that task is doing exactly. In the front end, we have for quality, for example, TypeScript linked Husky to avoid committing something that is out of the pattern. And we also have unit tests and snapshot tests. We are more concerned about the UI in the end. So, and that's really nice to be covered by automation tests made up by Astrid, for example, because we can cover a lot of different stuff like changing a button name or anything that is different between screens to make everything consistent, you know. So it's really nice to work together with QA. So when we just open a new pull request or something like this, it's really nice to have the entire team getting to know what we are doing. So we almost all of the times we know what each other is doing, you know. So it's nice to do this.
Yeah,
and
that
really
is
cool
nice
because right now we're working on a tool that we're taking care of both the front end and the back end piece. And it's really cool how we keep the conversation always going and we know what everybody's working on, because sometimes we try to not do that in the same sprint, but we sometimes have like dependencies between what the backend guys are doing and what the front end is going to be developing. And that way, you know, it's really simple. You know, after the front end has seen the PRs and they know how the endpoint was, you know, developed and what they're expecting is a really easier to, you know, actually work on the integration of both parts.
Yeah, that's cool to hear that, you know, we have back end folks and front end folks and QA, but you're all just kind of, you know, there together and you know, no one's kind of in the dark about sort of what's going on. I think that's definitely sounds good, you know, in that being kind of, you know, keeping you as a team and on the same page rather than kind of, you know, kind of in your own silos, sort of. I think that makes a lot of sense. So that's cool. Awesome.
And then on the line of, you know, working asynchronously, and how we deal a little bit with that. Well, most of you know that QA is kind of like, we depend a lot on what's done, what's ready today, so that we can work on a lot of stuff. And it's really important to keep like everybody on the loop in that sense, because I know that, for example, if Paulo is finishing like a ticket and he's telling me like, really, I'm really close to finishing this, I know that I'll have to keep my eye on that. And as soon as it hits QA, I'm going to be working on it. That helps us a lot with productivity, because we do have like the same effort. Like if I need them to give priority to special work, like, okay, I cannot test this ticket without this other thing, then they know they can work on that. And I feel like that is very important, because it doesn't actually require like having everybody at the same time in the same place. Like I can text Lauren in the morning and maybe she's, you know, not there yet, or maybe she went out to walk or something. And when she comes back, she can see it and she can answer whatever questions I had, or say like, okay, I'm on it. You know, it's really cool.
Yeah, and also as about that, it's cool that what I love about this team is that we never had to sit with the QA and have some agreements on how things would work. We just every person that got in the team already knew for some reason that we wouldn't have a heavy load on Astrid. We would work in the quality as a team, because what I have seen before in my experience is that the QA is the only department that would actually handle the testing, and everything is left for QA. And that's something we just know that is not true, that all of us need to work on that. And if Astrid finds something find some bug, it's not her trying to attack us. It's just her doing her job and making sure our products actually have quality. And this is something awesome that we do.
Yep.
In fact, those answers were so amazing that I'm giving to Astrid 2 points and to give.
There you go. Everyone's on the board.
Thank you.
Yes.
Awesome. Thanks, Louis. No, that's very cool. This was a good topic and cool to hear. And yeah, I mean, that's, you know, talking about, you know, kind of that quality responsibility as a team. I mean, at the end of the day, everyone, no matter if you're front end, back end, QA, you know, your goal is making a good product, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so working together is the best way to do that. And it sounds like you guys have a a good system. So it was cool to hear about it.
Yeah, and I feel like it's more about, finding the best way to do things and the best way to solve problems, and not actually like, we don't care. And I think this is something that we should tell everybody in the industry, like, take this as a motto. It doesn't matter who was missing a semicolon in the code. It doesn't really matter who did that. It matters how we're going to solve it and how fast we can go about that.
100%. It's a really good point. Awesome. And without further ado, we can go ahead, move things on, and do some more meme guessing. Same format, 2 new memes, everyone buzzing in using the private chat. That's our most official way to have a buzzer. We have Pizza Rat and we have Arthur's Fist. Which came first? That was Lauren first that said this is pizza.
Yeah.
I actually forget the answer. I forget the answer. Lauren got it. It was Pizza Rat. What year was that?
That's fun.
2015. There you go. Pizza Rat. Wow. 2015. Iconic. So Lauren getting 5 more points, putting her in the lead. Once that
go Lauren.
Go Lauren.
I always win. That's okay.
The baby boss is kicking ass.
So and then we wanted to kind of move in, and we touched on it a little bit in that first question, but this goes a little bit more in depth, obviously talking about work and a relaxed balance, but also kind of just what keeps your mind fresh, right? And I'm sure, again, similar to our first topic, everyone works differently. Everyone keeps their mind fresh in different ways. So just kind of curious to hear y'all kick it off with some of the ways you do find that work-life balance, which again, we talked a little bit about, having time to walk on the beach or having time to work at the hours that make sense to you. But yeah, definitely looking forward to hearing how you do keep your mind fresh and don't get too overloaded.
Okay, I think I can start with this one because I think I'm the worst person to follow schedules differently from Astrid and Paulo. I just try to follow the meetings that I have in the day, but I'm not the kind of person that has the same productivity in every day, and I actually get to have how can I say. I forgot the word for that, but I can't work the same hours and make the same work every day, So I think that the first thing is to know yourself and know your limitations so that you can kind of play with that. You don't need to be productive the 8 entire hours every day. It's okay to work less time if you feel like that. If you feel like you want to work more, that's also okay. But what I do is that I tend to have at least 4 focused hours in the day and leave the other 4 hours, since I always try to follow 8 hours a day to deal with some sync with other teams and some more boring stuff, I would say. And these 8 hours don't really are like from 9 to 5. They can be separated between the day. So if I start working at 9, I get to stop by 11 to do something. Just a few weeks ago, I stopped by 2 p.m. to go to the beach because I live in an island, which is amazing. And also I get to play in the middle of the day to play video games because I'm not really feeling focused. So this is quite nice for me, and that's how I balance my day. It's not all about work. I also live, so I can say, and that's pretty much how I work. And in the evening, I just do whatever I want. I can watch series, play games, and try to just not think about work. And that's pretty much my side of it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I totally agree, because I also have a lot of different hobbies. For example, that's why I prefer to work a little bit in the morning, so in the afternoon I can just wrap up things and define what I missed in the daily meetings, so I can shout out my blockouts and that kind of stuff. So yeah, and in the end of the day, I like to, for example, play my guitar or play video games, and I like racing. So I have so many different hobbies that I really have to take a routine. If not, I will not be able to enjoy everything that I like. So
Yeah,
yeah, that's how I balance everything. I work a little bit in the morning, then I take some extra time to relax once again, and then I get back and work once again.
Absolutely,
Personally, I think that one of the best things, I'm gonna rob Lauren of something she said, is knowing yourself, because that means that you're gonna be able to be the most productive that you can be. For example, I have days where I have to do a lot of stuff and my mind is just not cooperating, and it's like I'm tired. I don't feel like doing this. So I am a very goal oriented person, and in that case, personally, what works for me is like, okay, so let's see what of these tasks is the biggest, the meanest, the horrible one that I really don't want to do, and then I kind of reward myself with something else. Like, okay, once I finish this, I get to watch, like, for example, I'm a big fan of BookTube. So I get to watch a video on YouTube about books. Or, of course, I have my handy dandy Switch right here all the time. So yeah, I can, hop in Animal Crossing and do something for a little while so that I can, clear my mind, and then I go back and it's so much better. She's holding the controller as well. And to bring up something that is really important as well is that we as a team, we do make an effort for everybody. We take care of each other, and I think that's important. Like, if you see, it happens a lot, like, oh, so we saw that somebody created a PR really late during the night, and we saw him like in every meeting that day, and he was there all the time. We're like, hey, go take a nap, go sleep, go play something. And I feel like that is very important, because we sometimes are very, like, oh, I need to finish this, and we are not actually adding anything good. Like, if you're not healthy, if you don't sleep enough, if you don't have some balance, as we said, you're definitely not giving your best self. So definitely work on that. And we do have something that I would like to call like a very balanced meeting. We do have a specific time during the week that we have a meeting set that we don't always do it. So the thing is that we have that time separated in case that we need one of two things. Like, one, do we need to rest? Do we need to have like a happy hour together and just talk about anything that is not related to work? Or we do use it a lot if we need to come together and say like, okay, so let's review this feature together because I have a lot of questions or something. So we do have that space like at least twice a week that we just get scheduled all the time, so that we can say like, okay, I need this time today, so let's play something together. And I feel that's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah.
You know what? I really like Animal Crossing, so I'm going to give you 2 points. I really like the PS5, so I'm going to give you 1 point. And Paulo, I'm also going to give you 1 point just because of it.
Okay.
I love it.
Perfect.
Very, very fair.
I like how he just comes out of nowhere and
that's right. The point master. Yeah.
He's like the Santa. I have to give him the hat.
Yeah.
And so before we move forward, which we are going to do, but I want to mention, Astrid, I totally agree with a few years ago, I heard that advice of like, when you're looking at your to-do list or what have you, just going in on the thing you're dreading the most, or the biggest, the biggest, beast on that list. And then that makes the rest of your to-do list so much easier. And I agree with that 100%. That's been really helpful for me, is just starting the day, looking at that list and being like, what's the most difficult, and making that the top one. So you mentioned that, and that resonated with me, because I do that as well. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move forward with a few more meme guessing. Oh, there's a good question there. What happens if someone on the team can't achieve the goal or complete a task? I mean,
that's a good question.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I would have to imagine
our task.
I would have to imagine. Obviously, you can step in and answer that, but I would have to imagine. For one, it's probably different for every team, different companies and things like that. But you were talking about kind of teamwork, being on the same page, everything being transparent, and also looking after one another and coworkers. I assume, that it's probably a team effort of just looking, okay, this thing isn't done. Like you said, not necessarily someone, no one's necessarily getting blamed or whatever, but like, what can we do as a group, as a team to get it done?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of a mix of things. Like, it depends. If there's like a super big task that we need to address, that it's taking longer than we thought, normally this would be assigned to one of us. But the rest of the team tries to keep an eye on that. If there's a big task, we are all trying to keep an eye on who's got it. And we try to be I think that we're going to touch actually on this a little bit after, but we try to be really proactive in asking for help. Asking for help is really important. It's like you're not bothering anybody. You're actually helping the team if you say like, hey, don't wait 3 days blocked on the same thing before you raise your hand and you say like, hey, I need help with this. Like, who can give me a hand? That's very important. And then there's another part that it has to do a little bit more with what I would say, like our reflections on the sprints and on our work. Basically, that would be in the form of a retrospective. And I think it's very important to keep those meetings very honest. Like, what was it that failed in our pipeline that made this happen? Like, was it dependencies? Was it something unplanned that came into the sprint because it was an emergency or whatever? Or maybe it was that we didn't actually do a good job at estimating how big the task was actually. So it really takes, I would say that this is not something that you touch on just at the end of the sprint. This is something that you need to be reviewing all the time so that you can actually plan better the next sprint or the next, the next iteration in general.
Absolutely. Awesome.
About that, I think it's also important to mention what we do to avoid that from happening, right? So we work all with sprints. We also have the planning session. And on that planning, we try to balance the amount of work that each person have, so that no one is actually bloated with things to do. And we count points for backend work, for front-end work, and for QA work, so that everything is actually counting in the sprint. So this team started as a new team. In the beginning, we didn't really know what was the velocity of each person. And I have to say we weren't perfect. Of course, we were just learning, and many tickets were left, were just carried over to the next sprint. But that's the part of the process. Something cool about our partner is that we had time to understand how we work, in which speed we had to work. And then right now, after a few months working together, we get to actually know how many points we can make, what is the velocity that everyone has. So, and if some ticket actually ends up not finished, we carry it to the next sprint, and that's okay. There's no blaming on, oh, you didn't do this this work right. There is no actual blaming, because something might have happened. As Astrid mentioned, we might have planned wrongly, and we are humans, we make mistakes. And Absolutely. This is something cool we have, because we don't really carry the blame of not being able to do so. And the retro, as Astrid mentioned, also helps a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
cool.
And it's very important to in the planning, for example, you estimate with the QA as well, because otherwise you will overload the QA, and in the end you will not be able to deliver the task, because we will not get approved in time. So
sure. Yeah.
That's something that you have to pay attention as well.
It's a good point. All right. Well, we can jump back into the memes. We're going to hear from
answers so much.
There you go.
You know what? Everyone gets 2 points.
Everyone. even me getting points. Even me on the board.
What about you, Luis?
Luis is XTeam's Oprah. You get a point.
You get a point. Awesome. We do. I think we have another minigame. Yeah, there we go. Oh, some classics, some true classics. The epic handshake, and distracted boyfriend. Who? We got Lauren buzzed in first with distracted, Paulo with handshake. I don't remember which one it is, so let's see what we got here.
I think
It was-
It is Lauren was right. Lauren was right.
Yes.
5 points.
Lauren is
But
too
it's, but
fast.
it's winning.
Yeah, I thought the same,
Babe is
but
winning.
I had to put a different answer. So if she was wrong, I would win.
Yeah, it's the smart way to play it. Yeah.
Man, Lauren is so fast.
If you didn't notice, I'm extremely competitive, so I'll just do anything and
Yeah.
win. As
Yeah,
they
it
also
Yes.
reflects on the scoreboard. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So then again, we touched a little bit on some of the software, but I want to talk about, kind of, I called them hacks. That's a little bit of a clickbaity kind of thing, but just products that we use. But and I know we're talking some Notion, some notes stuff, but also I wanted to. The reason I put routines in there is I wanted to talk about IRL stuff as well. Again, we did touch on this a little bit, but I wanted to talk about the not digital side of it. For example, there's people that can jump out of bed, stay in their pajamas, and put it on a full great day of work. There's nothing wrong with that. I can't do it. I have to do a shower. I have to have breakfast. I have to put clothes on like I'm going to the office. I think it's interesting that everyone's different. I have to be in that mindset. So yeah, I just want to hear some software that helps y'all out throughout the day, but also just I'm always curious to hear those kind of routines that gets people kind of in the mode, to put in a good day as a work. So excited to hear what some of y'all are using.
It's Astrid's time to shine.
Yeah.
Yes, I was
Shine
waiting
away.
for this question. Okay, no, not really. I am a big fan of actually researching what we can do to be more productive. I'm a really organized person. Probably a lot of my team can say, yes, she is. I get to a point where it's kind of weird. But I would really say I'm a big fan of Notion, but I never had anything too fancy. First, because I believe in not overcomplicating yourself. That's something that it's not. If it's not bringing you, a faster way to do things or a easy way to do it, it really doesn't do much for you. So I started very basic, but now I have a very cool sheet where I have a big view of my week, and that way I can organize specifically what I need to do, and that's very important because I feel like I do very different stuff. I need to take care of documentation. I need to take care of manual testing of the front end part, or maybe I need to automate something. And it's kind of you can definitely see Jira, and some of it is going to be reflected there, but not to the point where exactly what's missing where. So I had my own thing where I actually tried to figure out, if there's a special event today, I'm going to put it there. If there is a big task that I need to take care of first, I just bump it up to the beginning of the list, and that way I can, tackle it first. I'm also a big user of Todoist, and Todoist helps me in a different side of things. I wanted to keep, and this is something that I do for my mind's sake. I really try to keep, work and life separate in a way. So I don't like to keep, the same to-do list for both of things because I feel like it's complicated and it's all jumbled up. And I really don't want to look at my work to-do list when I'm in the middle of a Sunday family meeting. So it's something to keep in mind. So I do use Todoist more for my personal stuff, like recurrent payments. Or maybe I have a special event that I need to, I need to remember to buy, a birthday gift or something like that. So I'll put that into Todoist, and I have that separate. And my Notion is for work stuff, so that I can just shut down Notion and that's it. I also believe that, not only separating things like that is important, but also I am a big gamer. I not because I'm great at it. I just play a lot. So I had to find a way to actually separate my work day from my video game hobby game, because it was like everything together. I do everything on this desk. So one of the things that I've started doing is that, when I'm having lunch, and usually right now, Wednesdays, Hawkeye is coming out. So usually what I do is that for lunchtime, I will watch an episode of Hawkeye, and I do that in my living room so that it feels like, I've gone out of the office. I'm not really there. I'm not too much of a outsider person, but if I do want to walk outside, I would definitely, take some time to do that. I am, though, one of the persons that just wakes up and starts working on their PJs.
Yeah. Like I said, nothing wrong with that.
I just need coffee. Absolutely. That's all I need.
Yeah. I wanted to mention it because someone did ask a question just about Trello. I personally use Trello here at XTeam. I don't know if y'all use Trello. I think I found it if you're just kind of keeping track of tasks and where things are kind of thing, I think it's totally fine. I've hit some limitations with it just not being kind of powerful enough or enough that I could kind of mod. I've used some like browser extensions to do it, but that can get a little messy. But in general, I say that, but I do like Trello and use it. But I imagine you're not using Trello at the partner, but maybe you are.
No, we're using Jira right now.
Okay. Yep. That's what I figured. Yep. Mm-hmm. Cool.
Anyone
else want to? Anyone else?
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, I'm not like I don't have any softwares, for example, to make my life easier. Maybe I should have. I'm like, and that's a different example. For example, Astrid has a different space for personal stuff and work stuff. I have just my room, so I have everything here. I have to split everything. Now it's time to work, now it's time to have fun and forget about it. But for example, I have my tabs pinned, so I have Jira and that kind of stuff, so I am always on. For example, if someone opens up a request, it's not a problem for me to take a look in there and review it or wherever. So the only thing that I do is to include the apps in my phone, so I can answer something in the Slack or take a look in the calendar just when I wake up, and just to know what I will have to that day. And so for my side, it's simpler and maybe not so organized, for example, but it's working for now. My memory is okay,
if it works for you.
But cool stuff.
There's a good question actually. Before we jump in, curious. They're asking about techniques of time management, using timers and things like that. Does anyone do that?
Yes.
Like with
Not always, but she's pointing to me. Yes.
Yeah.
That's actually a part of what I was going to say right now. As I mentioned, I'm not the person that can follow a schedule. So when I really need to focus, I tend to use toggle track with the Pomodoro technique. So it's mostly about defining what I want to do and setting the timer for 25 minutes and having the 5 minutes off and doing the cycle until I actually get things done. But that's only when I really need to focus. Overall, I don't mind staying hours straight working until the task is done. But toggle track is quite nice. But overall, it depends. I have used many different things because I like to change the things I do from a few months. So I have used Trello, Notion, Todoist. Now, what I do that helps me a lot is to plan my my following day with Google Calendar. I just by the end of the day, I pick the next day and plan the hours that I'm gonna work and what I'm gonna do on those hours. And that way, I also get to take that off my head because I'm an anxious person, and it helps me to not think about that before I sleep. And that's also quite nice. So overall, it's calendar and toggle track when I really need to focus.
Awesome, cool,
good.
Yeah.
Also, for anybody that's really interested in like Pomodoro techniques or things that help you stay focused, there's there is an application called Forest that you can actually use as an extension on Chrome, or you can use it on your phone. I think it was originally just for the phone, and I found it kind of cool because you have to like you have a timer and you say like whatever it is that you're gonna do, and during that time you cannot actually leave the application unless you have like a whitelisted application like the phone application. Maybe you were waiting for a call or something like that. But if you're that kind of person that needs some extra help to not just open Facebook or Instagram in the middle of your focus session, that's really gonna be really helpful, because the thing is that if you leave the application, you kill the little tree that was growing during that time. So it makes you feel like even a little bit bad, like, oh my god, I killed it.
Yeah, that's a smart way to make you feel guilty about it. That's smart.
That's true. And also some important hack is, of course, having my water bottle with me all the time, so that I always remember to drink. Yeah, I should also have. And please, people, drink water.
Yeah, I need to do more of that. I'm not so good at that. I'll start. So I think we should have one more, our final meme thing, I think, but maybe not. There it is. Yes, and I should have mentioned what we're competing for here is a piece of X label, whatever you want, whoever wins. Lauren, looking good right now. We'll send you a link. You'll be able to choose whatever product from X label that you want. So pretty exciting. But let's get into the final meme challenge. Same rules. Which came first? The Home Depot 12-foot skeleton.
No way, Pablo, you're too fast.
You follow
I have no idea. I just typed anything.
So pick the other one.
So let's see. I think so. Yeah, Pablo was first. He was
Nice
right.
job,
He was
nice
right.
job.
5 points.
Well
Pablo, but does that? I forget our. I forget where we are with points. Does that?
I don't know.
I think Lauren still might be ahead.
Maybe, I don't know.
Ooh,
Oh, look at Lauren with a nice 15.
Lauren is a god.
Yep.
Wow.
Lauren's still winning, even with Pablo getting that last one. Well, there you have it. And then
Talking about the X label, by the way, I got the joggers, and the joggers are amazing. I'm not wearing them right now because it's the middle of summer here almost, and it's really hot. But I love them. They are so comfy.
I just got my first sweatshirt the other week. It's incredibly comfortable. It's super soft. Yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, I got the track jogger one, and my girlfriend stole it, so I don't have it anymore.
Yeah. That happens. That happens with X label. It gets stolen from you. But they're truly, I'm really impressed by everything that I've seen from it. They're really, really comfortable. But then obviously the theme for the games for this whole thing have been memes. We were before we went live, we were talking about this. We were talking about memes and meme culture within a working environment, which I think is interesting because I remember back in the day when like Slack and HipChat were starting to kind of become more popular at Fortune 500 companies or whatever, like big, kind of stiffy companies. And I remember there was pushback because people didn't like that you were able to react to stuff with emojis. They felt that it was like, immature, right? But as someone who's like always worked at startups and then came to XTeam, which has a very, cool and fun, open culture, like I truly think being able to, to share memes and jokes and emojis with your team is one of the better ways to kind of build that relationship and just a way to have fun with work. And that's, obviously I think we're all on the same page there. So yeah, I just wanted to hear a little bit about sort of, just a way to wrap it up with bringing up
That's
some.
Such a good one. Okay,
there it is. Yeah,
I think that we should share. We should definitely share. So we have a little group that we've made for us, like developers and QA, where we try to keep, everything that we're working on. If we have specific questions to anybody in the development team, whatever. But also one of the most important things of that channel is that we talk about anything. And I feel like that is a really important thing. Not only making friends at work.
Yep.
That's definitely something that would be definitely a plus. But actually, getting to talk about more than just work lets you have like a different kind of relationship to your coworkers. Like
Yep.
I have a lot of, I feel really close to Paulo, to Lauren. Like I can tell them about anything. Like we were talking before we had a demo, and I had already worn my lipstick, and I was like, oh, my launch is here, but we haven't presented, and I don't want to mess up my lipstick. So stuff like that goes into that channel, you know, and it's kind of fun because you get to really know these people. And then you care about them because they are your friends. They're not just the people that's building the application with you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know if Lauren or Paulo has anything to speak on that, but yeah, I mean, and I think it's fun too, because like not only is it a meme, but it's sort of that you kind of have to understand tech and the process of building a product, to kind of understand the memes that we have thrown up there on the side. So I think that's interesting too, right? It's even just kind of a tighter niche, like being kind of on the inside of something like that, because if I showed that meme to a friend of mine in non-tech, they wouldn't understand it, right? So you're part of a little kind of a club within a club, sort of.
That's true.
And I love this meme that we have right here, because we have a system where we need 2 approvals at least, so that we are able to merge stuff. So sometimes people will be like, oh, it's all Lauren PR, so let me wait for Gabby that's more knowledgeable in Go to actually review it, and then I'll give my approval. And so sometimes you stay stuck with just 1 approval, and you're like, okay, guys, do you remember this PR? Would you please help me out?
And also something cool is that many people in our team are talented enough to create our own memes. So we actually
awesome.
There are many memes that's one that Astrid created. There are many that we can't really share because it's something about the context of our own product. But I think weekly we have at least a few memes created for something, and that's just the way we communicate, So that's something also quite cool.
And
that relationship between us in the team, it's really nice, because I am, for example, I think I am the newest. I am almost 2 months with them. So and it feels like home. You feel like you are talking with your friends and so on. I think that kind of communication is also really good, because hey guys, I have a pull request here, but take it here a meme as well, So everything becomes it becomes smoother, So
it's like it's an inside joke that you can quickly become
That's
part
mine.
of the inside.
This is Lauren's creation.
That's the
That is great. It is great.
No deployment today, guys.
Well, I'm so happy we were able to throw up some of these.
Yeah, I think it's really fun what Paulo said. We've been we are super close. We do have right now we have 2 Spanish speakers and 3 Portuguese speakers. And one of the things that I find really funny that we actually did when Paulo joined was that we wanted to explain to him, what we were working on, the tool that we're doing and all that. And Lauren wanted to explain the backend part. And the thing that we did was that we had a meeting where they explained everything in Portuguese. And Gabby and I, we are the Spanish speakers, we were like, oh, I get it. I actually understand it. And we had something like that, but in Spanish, where Gabby was explaining something to me, and it was really funny. So I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. Well, I know, I can't keep you here forever. I know you guys have other meetings to get to. But Lauren, Astrid, Paulo, thank you so much for being here. This is a lot of fun to chat about productivity and software and your kind of routines, and just very fun to be able to chat with all of y'all. And congrats, Lauren, on the 15 points. I will
well
send
done,
you,
baby boss.
I will send you the link to get any X label item you want after the show.
Thank you. I made a boss proud. Oh, something right quickly is that
Please,
each one of us has a nickname. Not sure if we are able to explain all of them, but I'm Baby Boss, and there's Gabby that is the boss, and there's Astrid that is Baby Penny, and then there's João, the other front end that is the worker, and the other worker is Paulo. So
Baby worker.
these things.
Yeah.
I love it. That's awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you. So I'm glad you're able to share that. And yeah, that just kind of mimics and shows more of that sort of, that close-knit, fun, meme-friendly group of folks working on a product. So very cool. Again, I appreciate so much your time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It was fun.
Thank you for having us.
Likewise. Bye.
Have a good one, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.